Hello, 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 and we're back. This time with something goofy, Russian, big and ugly. That's right, it's the M1895 Nagant Revolver. A little bit of background on this gun. Obviously designed in 1895, put into production and service the same year. A couple of different versions of this exist. The only other notable one is the Swiss version, chambered in 7.5 Swiss, manufactured by Husqvarna. There are very, very, very few French examples of it, but this is the most plentiful one out there. This particular one is made in 1928. It's got the old style CCCP seal on it. Pretty cool. One of the reasons I bought it. A couple of years ago, these things were really easy to find. Everybody imported boatloads of them, and they were $100. Now the pickings are a little bit slimmer, but you can still find them. I bought this particular example at rguns.net using my Curio and Relics license. If you don't already have it, get it. It's a real big lifesaver when you're into collecting old stuff. So let's get down to it. This is probably the most unuser-friendly revolver that I've ever handled. It's just clunky. The trigger pull's super heavy on it. It takes forever to load and unload, but at the same time, it's got one interesting little novelty factor to it. This is probably the only revolver design in existence that can be suppressed, and I'll show you why. This gun is chambered in 7.62 by 38mm rimmed Nagant. To show you what that looks like, here it is. It's obviously a 7.62mm bullet, 38mm case length from rim to tip. But the different thing is that, wait a minute, there's no bullet there. Yes, there is. It's just down inside of it. Now, this coincides with a certain design factor when they made this gun. There's a cone on the end of this brass casing, and right here in the gap where the cylinder meets the frame and the barrel, there's also another cone, and this works by advancing the cylinder. If you look, it presses up against that cone in the barrel, thereby forcing the cone on the end of this casing into the barrel, squeezing more velocity out of it, and at the same time sealing the gases into the barrel, instead of where on your other revolvers you get that blowout on the sides. So therefore, you can actually thread the end of this and put a suppressor onto it, of course complying with ATF regulations and the NFA and all that sort of thing, and have a suppressed revolver. Is that cool? Yes. Is it a waste of money? Some people say yes, I say no. I think it'd be neat. And you can actually look online on the YouTubes and watch videos of people that have done that. It's very simple to take apart, and I'll show you right here. You turn this center pin here about a quarter turn, and it just pulls out. You turn this collar right here, and there's two witness marks on the top. You can't see them, but they're very faint. And then you can pull this center pin up and out, take down your loading gate, and cylinder pops right out. It's 7-shot, and it's not the best design in the world, not the best cartridge in the world, but it's neat. It's something that it's something that's a real conversation starter. You take it to the range and people are just like, "Oh, what's that?" That's one of the reasons I bought it. I didn't buy it with any practical sense other than I thought it would be a neat collector's item. And that's pretty much all it is. It is impractical for any other purpose other than collecting. Example, the ammunition's getting much harder to find. rguns.net, the same place that I bought this, is the only place I know of that still has this surplus ammunition, which is hotter than the regular commercial production ammunition made by Privy Partisan and Hot Shot. This is 1970s production. It's considered a sport target, and it's it's the closest that I can find with my research to the actual original military loading. Not the easiest gun in the world to work, and I'll show you. You got to drive it like a truck. That's the only way I can really describe it. Everything on it is just, it's too sturdy and over-engineered, and it's just antiquated and outdated. But again, it's a conversation starter, and you know, at the time this was considered quote-unquote cutting-edge technology, which I still doubt. But to load it, you just drop down your loading gate. Obviously put in one round at a time. You cannot use the trigger to advance the cylinder. You got to do it manually, one at a time. And to eject spent casings, it's the same thing. You turn that pin about a quarter turn, slide it out, and you turn it to match your witness marks, and just one at a time. Because this case neck does expand a little bit when you fire it, sometimes these things are really hard to knock out. I've actually had to take a second and almost force this on the edge of the shooting bench where I go and shoot to pop those casings back out. It's, like I said, it's not the most user-friendly gun in the world, but on the same token, it's neat, it's cheap, and there's just something about these old surplus guns that I just like.